Good evening. I hope you guys are all doing well, and welcome to Town Hall Day 1 for the fall elections for VUSAC. Thank you guys for all showing up here. As candidates, it is your duty to show up to both of the town halls. So I'm happy to see almost every single face here today. With that said, you guys should know who is going today, but obviously that will be on the screen throughout the presentation. And just before we start, I want to give a quick disclaimer. The purpose of the town hall and both town halls is for the candidates to be able to share their platform, answer questions that were either sent to me anonymously through the forms or by anyone in the crowd. Obviously, anything like slander, hate speech, or any sort of discrimination is entirely advocated against. If any of you guys do that, you will be asked to leave and disqualified from the elections or anything of that manner for the exact same reason. With that said, before we begin, does anybody have any preliminary questions? If not, can I please, actually, let me go over the rules first. So you guys are going to come up on stage based on which position you guys are running for. You guys will begin with an introduction of your name and pronouns if comfortable. You will each have 2 minutes for your speech. If it goes over 2 minutes, I will cut you guys off. We will give you guys a 10-second warning. It's just a strict timeline. No one's going to get any sort of advantage there. After your speeches are completed, 3 to 4 questions will be asked per position. Like I said, there are some preliminary questions for each position from the forms and also any questions that will be asked in person. You will have a 1-minute response time per every single question. And there will be time for in-person questions and anonymous questions at the end of the presentation. Everyone clear? Perfect. With that said, then, we will start with our Sustainability Commissioner candidates. You guys, please come to the front. Yeah, sit in the front. Or wherever you guys feel comfortable, no worries. All right, so I will ask you guys to go up to the microphone in just a very random order that I selected. Like I literally just put this through a spinner in terms of who's going first and last. There's no bias here again. So I actually will just say your names. So Elena, you're first to go up for your presentation. So if you want to say your names, pronouns.
Yes, my pronouns are she.
Okay. You're good to go to the mic. Feel free to adjust it.
I'm just gonna set my own timer to make sure I don't run over. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Elena, and I'm a second-year student here at Vic. So a little bit more about me. Last year, when I was a first-year student, I was actually part of VUSAC as well as a first-year counselor. Needless to say, it was a super fantastic experience. That's why I'm back, and I want to this year be more part of the Sustainability Commission. So, what exactly are some of my experiences that make me fit for this position? To reiterate, in high school, I was also part of my school's green team. And some very, very cool things I contributed was one of the first Miyawaki pocket forests in Western Canada. By the way, I'm from Vancouver, that's why. And some other things we did were, the usual kind of meatless Mondays, maybe encouraging students to donate clothes, saving energy, that stuff. But last year on the Sustainability Commission, I took on a very hands-on role. So as a first-year counselor, you get to be part of several commissions or portfolio and just, help out. So some things I did was help with recruiting, so doing everything from screening resumes to doing hiring as well. Those chopsticks recycling, I actually coordinated that partnership with Chalk Value. And this year, on a similar note, I want us to take more approach towards partnering with corporations. As we all know, sustainability isn't just a personal action. We can't blame everyone else for not saving enough water, not saving enough energy. Corporations and companies are the biggest polluters. And I want us to raise awareness on that. I want companies to partner with us to show us how they are doing sustainability and for students to also gain something from that, whether it's connecting with the corporations or helping them learn more.
All good? Beautiful. Thank you so much. And Elena, you're good to, or do we do questions?
No, after both.
After both speeches, all right. Elena, you're good to sit down. And Akash, you're good to go.
I'm Akash Singh Younglim, and I go by the pronouns of he and him. Could I lower the stand a bit?
You have to rotate. And right to tighten.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Greetings to the House at large. I'm Akash Singh Younglim, an incoming freshman at U of T at Victoria College, and I speak for everyone sitting here. I speak truth in that I subscribe to no doctrine other than my own, and that it has impacted how my work ethics go on. I was once told by my headmaster that, Younglim, it is rare to see a boy your age hold such compassion and care for people other than yourself. And I intend to continue that streak here in Victoria, my dear audience. I intend to continue that streak. A few of my achievements would entail starting an organization back home in Manipur, a northeastern state of India, wherein I connected local artisans to the government, 110 to be specific, and I helped them achieve a sustainable livelihood. And they were all artisans who were connected to me personally through various other things. I was born into a bureaucratic family, and we were always lending help to those who needed it. Now, in terms of my achievements in high school, I was the social service president, and the work that I did is something that I'm really proud of. I was able to recycle paper to such an extent that I manufactured 890 notebooks in-house and was able to donate it to the adopted villages of my school. And I was also able to get free sanitary napkins for women of our adopted villages, 1,000 packs to be specific. Now, as the Sustainability Commissioner, I promise you that I will start off with Victoria rather than going on and speaking nothing but empty promises. I will start with small steps. I will try my best, and I will advocate for the establishment of compost bins. I will reestablish um, compost bins, and I will make sure that it is all student-led initiative.
That's fine.
Yes. Thank you for your vote of confidence.
All right, perfect. I will say it. All right. Thank you guys both for your speeches. I will move on to the anonymous questions first. And then we'll move on to any in-person questions. All right. You guys will have each a minute again to respond to these. And the first question is, what is one initiative you have going into this role? And
Just a question. 1 minute per question or 1 minute in total?
1 minute per question. So I guess we'll just do reverse order for this. So Kasha will go first.
Yes. I have a few in mind, yes, but then the main initiative that I would have is a continuation of what I did in high school, which would be two things actually. One is the establishment of compost bins across the campus of Victoria College, and one would be collecting winter clothes through charity events and giving them to underprivileged children throughout the Toronto area. And third, it would be to efficiently manage the current waste sorting system with the help of student volunteers. Thank you.
Okay, so as I briefly touched on in my presentation, something I'm really looking forward to doing this year is to continue partnering with corporations. And like I said, Chop Bamboo was a really great partnership last year. Now we get to recycle all the bamboo chopsticks, and they actually get turned into wood tables. And this year, I've already researched some really cool companies that I think we should definitely partner with. One that I really want to highlight is this company that kind of takes recycled materials and upcycles them into mugs or reusable cups. So I was also part of the finance portfolio last year, and I realized a lot of the costs for caffeine and cat's eye went to purchasing mugs because, there's a lot of wear and tear on those items, right? So I think something that we can do to remain sustainable in the day-to-day
That's it.
is to just purchase from that company where everything is upcycled to remain sustainable in our day-to-day.
Perfect. So again, we'll do reverse order this time, so Leila, you'll go first. And the question is, what is the biggest challenge you foresee with sustainability needs at Vic?
Great question. So since I was part of the commission last year, I definitely saw a lot of challenges. And I'm going to be very honest, I would have to say the Sustainability Commission among all the commissions is not as popular as the other ones, and I can totally see why. I think everyone's seeing sustainable initiatives at their school. It's always kind of the same thing, right? Very basic things. There's never really new events that students want to go to, which is why this year I really want to just emphasize partnering with corporations. What I'm envisioning is something that's not just telling students, oh, you need to save more water, oh, you need to save more energy. It's something that also benefits students. So I want to welcome in different corporations, for example, certified B Corps, who can talk to students and students can get a chance to network, maybe learn about potential career opportunities. As you can tell, I'm a Roman student. So I think sustainability isn't all about helping the world. I think students can gain so much from it as well.
Perfect, thank you.
For me, it is but one small issue. It would be the red tapeism of the administration now. So basically, I've seen that the administration tends to, and from secondhand experiences, if I may add on, that the administration tends to give up fast on initiatives which are student-led and rather which are not popular, as Alina said. In that, since it is not popular, it does not receive much support from the administration. Now, what I intend to do is rally students to upholster and rather bolster the ground initiatives or the root initiatives first before moving on to any bigger initiatives. I intend and I hope that many in this audience would vouch for my capabilities in terms of rallying people. And I intend to do that. Thank you.
All right, so we now open the floor to any in-person questions. Same thing, you guys will have 1 minute response time. If there are any questions from the audience, feel free to ask. Yeah,
What would you do if students were really enthusiastic about your initiatives?
Is that a
Yes.
question that's posed to the
both of you guys are supposed to answer it, and you will start for this one.
In terms of enthusiasm, I've always been one to, work in the sense of incentives. Now, incentives, not financial, I would say not entirely financial. It would be more like social incentives, being a part of an organization that I am, or rather being, as Alina said, being parts of, networking events. Now, those small incentives and then an increase in fame and popularity for the student is what I would have.
It's a very good question. I've definitely noticed this issue last year, and I think I would take a very scientific approach. I think the first thing we need to understand is, we're doing things for the students. I think it's important for us to consider what do students want to see at VIC. Maybe some students are already noticing some sustainability issues, maybe certain residents, they don't see recycling bins, maybe they want certain opportunities, get to talk to different B corporations. So I would take the approach of first maybe conducting a survey to see what students want to see, what they feel like is missing, and then take it from there. And as well, I think last year there was a lot of issues with how many students participated. So I think it's very important for us to offer something for students to come. So not just help the environment, but something that can benefit us as well.
All right, same thing. We were open to another question if anyone has. If not, we will move on to the next portfolio. All right. Thank you both so much. You're free to go back to your seat. All right, for this next instance, the one person who is running for international counselor is not here. They have submitted a video instead, so there will not be questions during this town hall for international counselor. If you do have any questions, there will be a forums page on Instagram in which you guys will be able to submit, and we can discuss that later. With that said, we can move on to the video.
Hi everyone, I'm Jake, and I'm a first-year student National Councillor. Full VUSAC election. And why I applied to this division is I believe that either me and we're completely connected with here and just a little bit of my story. I was a senior protective academic committee by high school ways. I was an international student there too, and I ran multiple events for students to get people extracurricular events, such as flag design, competition, color nation, and science fair where students and any grade could participate and show their passion, which ultimately also, I'm very well aware of sexual concern and sexual those include sickness, academic and financial problems, and I will listen to the concerns actively and communicate with VUSAC to solve or even prevent. I will be available anytime. I will provide messages and emails to students or anything. And if the phone beyond my authority, including that students with free.
That was 2 minutes. Obviously, I just want to make that very clear to everyone. You go ahead, you guys can clap. Yes. So yes, with that said, if there are any questions for your international counselor, you can either email the CRO at vusac.ca account. There will also be an Instagram page, which will be emailed to all candidates later on, in which you guys will need to answer questions there. And if you want to ask any questions for Eugene, they will be there. With that said, we'll now move on to the first year counselors. You guys feel free to sit wherever. Just for reference, one other candidate will be here very shortly, just on the way from class. Hence why there is not all of you up on the stage right now. With that said, again, order is entirely randomized. So the first speech is going to be from Noah.
So my name is Noah Park. I use she, her pronouns. Before I begin my speech, I would like to first say, like, wow, genuinely, I'm so inspired by every single candidate that put so much effort and thought and devotion into coming up with their own amazing ideas and campaigning throughout the past week. And it's so incredibly inspiring. And I have no doubt that every individual up here is capable of doing great things. That isn't to say that I don't think that I have any great ideas, but perhaps like having a loud presence and being creative isn't my greatest strength, but I know that I'm capable of doing all the work behind the scenes. I'm the type of student leader who that steps away from the spotlight and slips behind into the crowd, because as a student representative, my priority is within the students. I want to be the type of representative that builds genuine personal connections and develops true understanding with the student bodies first to be able to accurately represent students' interests and needs. I believe that the most reliable leaders are those who can actually speak for those they can truly understand instead of superficially representing students they haven't had the chance to meet yet. Now, I know this all just kind of sounds like big talk from a first-year girl who probably has no idea what she's doing, but this is the sort of awareness that I've learned and gained from past experiences. I know what it's like to be on both sides, as the representing and the represented. I myself probably wouldn't be standing up here at this podium without the influence of a student leader. The people who are motivated to serve for the student community, who truly inspire and maximize student experiences by putting themselves on a personable level first. They're the ones that left a lasting impact and instilled a passion in me to do the same. In the end, I served to be a co-chairperson in the leadership group that transformed me from a shy and highly anxious individual to someone who can even put herself out and run in this election for a highly competitive position. As a counselor, I want to be able to bring out these qualities and give other students the courage to step up and make their own impact. I would find it to be a great privilege if I reach any of you in the audience today. And even if I do not get elected into this position, I'm inspired to have you step out of their comfort zone and try something that you've always wanted to do.
Great. Next speaker is going to be Aditya.
My name is Aditya and I use he, him pronouns. Before I start my speech, I want to talk about what makes Vic so important. It might be how amazing the lawn is, it might be how great the food is, the free food especially. But most importantly, what I believe that makes Vic so amazing is the people. Coming from Dubai, which is 14 hours away by plane, it's a lot. A new city, new friends, a new community, and it's very difficult to try and adjust in this space. This is why I believe if I was voted in as first-year counselor, I will make sure that everybody feels equitable, safe, and most importantly, they feel like they belong. The people and the community are the most important part about what makes Vic so special. And whether that be through my experience through high school, from co-founding my own organization to running student council, as well as being a UN advocate, I speak more than just experience. What I speak for is the knowledge, but most importantly, the drive and passion to continue to do well for this college. I believe that I have the motivation and the strength to give you what you need. One example of this is a launching campaign called Vic Voices, where there's a global forum which is held in the cat's eye that people come and speak, address the concerns, and from the concerns we can pick out what's most important, what's most crucial, and what's being needed to solve. Finding that forum through Vic Voices, we hear from the students itself. This is why VUSAC exists in the first place. It's for students, run by the students. And secondly, hopefully a grant where we can create this fund where people who want to find their own endeavors or their own passions, we can all help pool in money through the Vic Student Association to help them have funds to raise their own research, what things they're passionate about. U of T is so diverse. Vic is such a beautiful community. And to find a place like Vic where we can not only channel our passions, but our interests, but most importantly, hear our voices loud and clear, I will ensure you that as first-year counselor, I will make that happen. My favorite quote is by John C. Maxwell, where he says, leadership is not about titles or positions, but it's about one life influencing another. I will ensure you that I will be influential, that I will make an impact, and I will make Vic stronger, better, and amazing. Thank you so much, and vote Adi.
All right. Andrea.
My name is Andrea. My pronouns are she, her. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Yip, and I'd love to represent you as your first-year commissioner. I'm a first-year student from Hong Kong looking to major in history and art history. With my experience in these tedious humanities subjects, you can guarantee that I'll be detail-oriented and listen to every one of your issues carefully. So a little about me. In high school, I was the editor-in-chief of the school newspaper for 3 years, headed a body image charity organization, and ran for student government as well. I'll advocate for inclusivity, representation, and community within Victoria. We're committed to present the best results for our community. But enough about me. I want to focus the speech on what I can do for you. I'd like to focus on three key areas. Firstly, I want to bring you all more student benefits. During exam season, I want to give you all free exam period study kits, free stationery, coffee, and energy bars, just to get us through the long months of December. I also advocate for discounts at select stores like Indigo, and I'd also encourage the VUSAC Instagram to focus more things that you all want to see, like study spots or TV's reels. Secondly, I want to target student academics, creating upper year drop-in advice sessions for first years and group study sessions for residence buildings hosted once per month. However, I know that not everyone will have the time or energy to attend in-person events, especially because you might be busy or have scheduled clashes. This is why I also want to propose a weekly newsletter for various opportunities, including an interview with an upper year student or graduate student for them to share their viewpoints. Lastly, I like to host fun events like tours and excursions in cultural neighborhoods and restaurants, as well as put on cat's eye karaoke events and invite guest performers. As someone who's completely new to Toronto, I'd love the opportunity to go out and meet fellow people from Victoria. So why did you cross the road to go me as their first year commissioner? Thank you so much.
I'll ask you guys later. All right, thank you so much. And next up is Arjan.
Hi, everybody. I'm Arjun, and I'm running for the position of first-year counselor as a first-year student pursuing life sciences. So the way I want to approach this position is very much student-driven. What I thought I would do was the main principle of my work would be through, first of all, enforcing more feedback through the VUSAC Instagram so we can have a better idea of what students want. From there, I have 4 examples of things I would want to do, and that, of course, will change if I am elected. So first, for example, one of the most popular events during orientation was the cat and dog therapy sessions during Wimbledon launch. So I'd want to increase the frequency of wellness events like that. Second of all, I would want to increase the frequency of professor showcases, in that professors would be able to share their research and students would be able to learn from that in a more accessible way than reading online and have a medium to connect with them from there. Third of all, I would want to increase the variety of options at Ned's Cafe and accessible through VicBucks. And then fourth of all, I would go from the student feedback provided and do a variety of other things purely based on what people actually want. What experience do I have that would make you want to vote me? Well, first of all, I was on the student government as a representative for all 4 years. I also led both the computer science and DECA clubs at my high school since grade 11, which involved me, among other things, creating a hackathon, organizing a 2-day hackathon at a university, a game jam and guest speaker talks. I was also a teaching assistant and frequent tutor, so I'm experienced with effective communication. Additionally, I was a summer camp counselor and I worked on a research team, and so I have experience collaborating with others to engage people effectively. For all those reasons, I hope to get your vote. Thank you.
All right, perfect. And next up is Grayson.
My name is Grayson Graham. Pronouns are he, him. Hello, everyone. I forget my name, so I'm really glad that you sort of gave me that introduction. It's been like a really long day today. But I'm running for the position of first-year counselor. So I wanted to start off by sharing a little bit about myself. I grew up in Atlanta in the States. Yes, I'm gonna hide a little bit. For 11 years, and then I moved over to Philly for the last 7. So if you're paying those international fees, I really feel you in that moment. I'm currently majoring or planning on majoring in public health, minoring in bioethics and psychology on a pre-med track. So why did I decide to run? For about the last 6 to 7 years, I've been involved in student government. I planned numerous socials, dances, and off-campus events. I solicited grade and school-wide feedback and communicated that with teachers, staff, and administration. I also served on the Diversity Ambassadors Committee at my school, championing our DEI efforts by ensuring we remained aligned with our core principles and tackled instances of bias head-on. It is with that spirit that I am running for VUSAC. I'm eager to plan events like ice cream socials, Club Neds, where we turn Neds into like a little club, have a little dance party there, some more dog visits, and even more ideas. I'm also really excited about the opportunity to serve on interesting committees like the Equity, the Academic, or Scarlet and Gold committees, and collaborate with diverse and fascinating people. I ran for this role really because at my core, I want to learn more about the student experience and vast array of activities that people are engaged in on campus. I want to be a resource for people and help Vickies get the most out of their VUSAC and college experience in general. As with any election speech, I hope it 100% convinced you to vote for me, but if it hasn't, I eagerly await your questions. Thank you so much.
All right. Then Shrishti.
The water. Yeah, is that go? Okay.
I, I know, I saw it. I was like, what is this?
You want to like say your name and pronouns, then I'll start it. Okay. My name is Shrishti and my pronouns are she, her. Hi everyone, as I said, I'm Shrishti and I'm super excited to be running for first year counselor on VUSAC. Now let's start with a little bit about me. I have been living in Toronto for the past 3 years and I absolutely adore it here. I love that I'm close enough to the campus to commute here with ease every day. However, I know that that is not the case for most of the people who are living here first year. Our dorms are filled with first year people, many of whom are international and domestic, and they feel often that they are not represented properly. I want to be the person who represents them. Obviously, with the stress of university, our courseworks, finding new schedules, and the general like the 4 best years of your life. You got to make the most. You got to be social, but you got to be on the year of tears grind. You got to do everything, and it's stressful, but it doesn't have to be. I can help. Before coming to U of T, I did this initiative where I helped people get more settled into their roles. And that was like just a general program where I volunteered. I helped adults with managing their life kind of sort of. I helped them with logistical issues, technical issues, personal issues, and I just showed up and I listened to them. And that is the type of representation I aim to be for the incoming class of first year. I know how important it is and how helpful it is to have someone who just listens to your concerns and does something on your behalf. Obviously, if you paid attention to my campaign, you might have noticed I haven't advertised any free stuff yet. And as much as I love free food, dude, I was at the pizza thing today. That was amazing. But as much as I love free stuff, I don't know what is within my jurisdiction, and I don't believe in making empty promises. But but I will make a promise that I will be accountable and focus on your needs. Thank you.
Right? Evelyn?
Hello, my name is Evelyn. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm really excited to be running for the first year counselor. I have experience in various leadership groups such as student council, eco team, and community service groups, which strengthens my creativity and teamwork skills, bringing fresh ideas to the table. I will ensure students' voices are heard and everyone feels at home at Vic. Some ideas I have are karaoke night, cheaper meals at night, game night, and fun activities to de-stress during exam season. I promise to bring more friendship bracelet making sessions because that was my favorite event at orientation. With these activities, we can have a closer community and make sweet memories. Together, we can make this a fun year, and I hope to have your support. Thank you.
Aria?
Hello, everyone. My name. Sorry, yeah, this is too short.
Oh, there you go. You got it.
No, this is too tall. Sorry. My height is on normal. Okay, great. Let's start. And my face is not in bed.
There you go.
I promise I have the face. Sorry. Okay, let's start. My name is Arya. I'm a first year life science student at U of T, obviously, at Vic College. This is a big deal. Okay, let's breathe. Okay, I'm very stressed now, and I'm sure most first year students who would be interested in running this position would give it down because of the stress. I am a commuter student, which again puts me at a disadvantage. However, I believe that if you vote for me, I will try representing you. However, I will not be possible without you guys. So what I would do is I would run polls to make sure that everyone's voices are heard. I would spread these polls out throughout the semester within my jurisdiction, I believe, so that I would hear from the first year students, from any students who are suffering, if it's mental, if it's any other issues relating to university, if it's too much workload, I will try to help as best as I can. However, I will need to do it with the help of the student. I have run many clubs I moved here 2 years ago. The high school that I went to was a 2,000 student high school. It was relatively big. It was big for me. So I got used to the move. I moved from Iran. So English isn't my first language. So now I'm suffering even more with it. But the transferring from a high school to another high school gave me the experience of being able to adapt to the different environments. Like University of Toronto, there's a lot of students here, and it's a bit confusing sometimes. Where to go? Where is your college? Where exactly your classes are? I still get lost so many times. So I believe by making a clear platform, even though VUSAC has tried their best and it's as clear as possible, I would try to improve it as much as I can as a student at UFC. And I will listen to your words. So please fill out the forms that if you vote for me, I will give you guys, and that's it for me. Thank you so much.
And the last speech for the first year counselor position is going to be Thomas.
If we adjust it, I might not have to adjust it.
We're good, right?
Do I need to adjust it a little bit? Let's see.
Right to left to loosen and then right to tighten.
Yeah, this is good.
You in the frame?
Yep, I'm in the frame. Hi, everyone. Can I start? Hello, everyone. My name is Thomas Cable, and I'm a first-year life science student running along with these amazing candidates to be a first-year counselor. Even though I've only been at Victoria College for a short time, I've already been so impressed by the community and the incredible diversity here. I've enjoyed meeting many of you at events like ISO and Frosh, and if we've met, it was great to connect. If we haven't, I'm looking forward to the chance to meet you guys soon. My background has given me valuable experiences that will make me an effective representative for all of you. Growing up in Brooklyn and spending high school in Connecticut, I served on my town's conservation commission where I gained experience running projects and navigating bureaucracy on both the local and state levels. I was also an officer for my high school's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Club. And in addition, I was a student cultural ambassador to China. Since coming to Vic, I've already gotten involved as a house co-president and on the Cat's Eye subcommittee, and I'm ready to take on even more. If elected, I want to focus on 3 key areas. First, I want to promote more cultural learning and connection. I'll advocate for more events, cultural exchanges, food potlucks, and celebrating a wider range of holidays on campus to include everyone. Second, I will champion accessibility. As a student with hearing disabilities and other disabilities, I'm committed to making sure I represent and advocate for all students, especially those with diverse needs. Finally, as a first-year student, I know I have a lot to learn about how things work here at Vic, and as so, I don't want to overpromise, but I still see this as an opportunity. My goal is to work closely with other VUSAC members, learn everything I can, and grow into the most effective representative possible for all of you. Ultimately, while I have all these ideas, the most important thing is representing your voices. The one thing I can guarantee is that I will listen to you. Your ideas and concerns matter the most, and I'm committed to being a strong advocate. I'm looking forward to speaking with you all in person, and I'd love to connect on Instagram with our commuter and second year and upper year students. Thanks for your time. Once again, my name is Thomas Cable, and I'm honored to be running to be your first year counselor.
All right, so All right, so we will be starting off now with the individual questions. We're gonna start with the anonymous form. For convenience reasons, we'll just go like this, then to the next question, back. So start with all the anonymous ones, and then we will go to any questions from the audience, all right? So no pressure, you guys have a minute each to respond. Which fruit would you?
Yeah, kiwis, and I really like kiwis, and they're really good at smoothies.
I think pineapple. I like the idea of being a little tart, being sweet once you get to know someone, being a little spiky around the edges. But like it's such a pretty fruit to look at, so I think it'd be a pineapple.
I would be an apple. I know that's kind of like basic, but come on, everybody loves apples. And this might be a little bit of a niche thing, but lately my friend and I have been getting really into those like AI Apple games, and like, come on, man, love those. So I'd be an apple.
I love this question.
If I could be a fruit, definitely mango 100%. Mangoes are yummy, they're sweet. I would consider myself sweet-ish. Delicious. You have in the summer. Summer is my favorite season as well. Yeah, it's tasty, it's yummy, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's very.
So I think I would be a peach because I think peaches are also a pretty common and universal fruit for everybody. And I'd like to say that it's a comfort fruit, especially for me. And just to be like I would like to be that kind of like comfort fruit for someone else. And be the type of like sweet, like kind of like like sweet and tangy kind of energy that brings comfort to people.
I would like to be a dragon fruit, I think, because they're very pretty to look at. But there's different sizes, there's variations. No, all of them are the same. I think I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit insane. But we all got into U of T, so we're not all normal for talented kids, let's say. But also, when you get to know the dragon fruit, when you cut it in half, you just eat the insides if I'm not wrong. So when you get to know me better, I'm a little bit different. I might come off as nicer and less stressed.
For me, I want to be a passion fruit because I want to bring the passion on for all of you guys. Yeah, I know, sorry, it's a little recording, but I had to. Also, I'm a bit of a bubble tea fanatic and I love myself a shop. So yes, passion fruit tea with boba. So if anybody ever wants to go grab some boba with me, come grab me. We're gonna get it.
I guess I'd be a strawberry because they're really good and they're very versatile. They're in a lot of desserts. Also, they're a good side for meals. That's what it's.
I'd be a mango because mangoes are fresh, sweet, and they're so versatile in all desserts. So I would say I'm pretty similar to that.
I own the next questions.
We'll start out from the back side, so we're just gonna go reverse order now for the next question. So first year can be difficult at U of T. How do you aim to balance your studies with your duties as a counselor?
It's so funny because I was asked the same question in grade 12 when I was running for council. I would say for me, I'm someone who has daily deadlines and things like that. So I plan to follow that. And I always, for me, when I commit to something, I always will make time for it. And sometimes it might be a few sleepless nights, but I do love my job. So I am pretty dedicated when I put my work into something.
I would mainly focused on, I would mainly be focused, that is, on being organized. I think that's the only really way to truly be able to balance different things, and that's what I found in high school. So typically for extracurricular commitments, it's better to put in more of a consistent effort rather than sort of like plan it by deadline. So that would be the focus of me in general.
Maybe this is a little bit of a question for me because anyone who knows me knows that I totally overload my schedule with 6 courses this semester. But no, so for me, the reason that I feel like I'm able to do that is because my entire life I've worked on time management. It's something I put a lot of effort into. I have a massive Google account, all of my phone company that is everything from all of my syllabuses on it. But as part of that, I know how to use my time. I purposely structured everything, so most of my classes would be from 11 to 5, which even though it means giving up lunch a bit, leaves me a lot of time for to be able to participate in clubs, extracurriculars, and get to know people. So that's probably when I'm most likely to be using my time. Also, I love spending my weekends doing things. I hate staying in the house. So I'm totally on to go out, plan things, have fun with everyone. So yeah.
For me, I am a bit of an extrovert, so I love to talk. And I believe if you like something that you're putting your effort into, you would eventually be successful in it. So I'm running for VUSAC because I obviously believe in the ideas and goals that they have. So I think I'm gonna enjoy it, and it would be kind of a distressing and not stressful moment. It would release my stress from the course load that obviously a life science student has to go through, but it would also be calming, and I get to see you guys, which is obviously amazing.
Yeah, so as I said before, I think it's really important to be passionate about what you do. And if you're passionate about something, you will have to make time for it because you want to do that thing, right? You want to be able to contribute and give it your all in the things that you do. So one of the things that are the most important to me is to actually block out specific times in my day to work specifically on the things that I need to get done. For example, like any of my homework, I have specific goals in mind. I come in with a to-do list prepared to actually know what I want to achieve and know what I want, where I want to be at by the time that the end of the day comes around. So I think being able to have that clear idea in mind before heading into something is super important for something as rigorous as a position like this.
I think, yeah, definitely. Like U of T is definitely stressful. I mean, 3 weeks in, and I feel like already like 5 weeks behind, which is really weird. But I think the great thing about like VUSAC, I'm also running for this role, is that when I'm working with other first year counselors and other people in VUSAC, I can also get tips from them on how I can manage my schedule. I can get advice from other years as well. And plus, I'm running for this position because I absolutely love working with other people. I love finding something where it's not just me studying with 9 textbooks all the time at the library. So honestly, I would see this as like a bonus to me adding to my schedule, but also I'm a big believer not just managing my time efficiently, but how well I use that time in terms of quality, not quantity. And I believe high school taught me that, and I shall bring the same to university.
Okay, in terms of my studies, I have a relatively easy course load. I have Thursdays off. I don't have that much going on. I'm also not taking math. So like my schedule's wide open. I'm running for this because I know that I can commit the time to this. Also, I feel like doing stuff for yourself and for other people because I feel like first year should be something that we build together, not just something that upper years build for us. And they're like, oh, you had this, but it's not what we want. We know what we want. And I feel like working towards a goal is actually kind of refreshing and it'd be a nice study break.
Yeah, so first year can be difficult. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big organization person. I like to keep everything a little bit decluttered in my life. And so I'm a big fan of Notion and Microsoft To Do and my Outlook calendar, which is a new switch for me. I'm like you, Thomas. I used to be a Gcal person, but it's because of this like switch that we're doing with Microsoft anyways. But so centering and blocking out time, like other people have said, really making sure that like every day when I wake up, I try to be like reasonable with what I can get done with my day, and structuring it that way. And I put my priorities and things that I really like. And I feel as an elected, if I was elected representative, that my goal is to be for the people. So that would be one of my top priorities. My math 135 course can come later.
If I'm being completely honest, I sometimes prioritize my extracurriculars before my academics because I feel like it's something that makes me really happy, and I've seen in the VSAC office lots of people studying or like the big table people doing their duties, and I feel like I could also be a VSAC counselor and manage my homework at the same time.
We do have one more anonymous question before we get on to any sort of in-person ones. How will you advocate the needs for your fellow first-year students, and then reverse order?
I think I'm quite a bit of an extrovert, so I really like interacting with my fellow first year students. I also run polls on Instagram or on VUSAC account or my own personal, asking people, oh, is there any concerns or needs they need that could be addressed, and I'd like to take these thoughts into account. So yes.
If you've seen my poster around, you will notice that on it says always open to feedback. And one of the things that I've centered in my work in student government the past several years, and that I will continue to center, is the explicit collection and solicitation of feedback from students, and using that feedback and communicating that with admin and teachers and staff and everyone who needs to know that information. I'm a big person who doesn't believe that in certain situations you should tamper yourself. I love speaking to anyone, and I will speak to literally anyone, even if the advice is somewhat constructive. So that's it.
Well, I think it would kind of depend on the person, what they're actually asking for. And there would be a lot of context that goes into this question, but obviously reaching out to people, planning time when you can meet with them, following through with it, and advising them of the results, obviously. Aside from that, if there's like a need that arises, you can email me, you can DM me, my Instagram's open, anything. And yeah, just it depends on the context more than anything, and whatever help you need, I'm here to provide it for you.
I think one thing I really enjoy is just not only just being an expert, but also just being very approachable, being very honest, and allowing people to come to me. I think that's why I also decided to run for this position. And a lot of big students are also like that. But I also believe, as I touched on my speech, big voices, the platform I want to create, that's a great way of finding what students need and want and focusing on that. This position is not just for the title of what comes with it, but rather actually drilling down on important issues, what the students need. And with that platform and with addressing those concerns, I'll aim to prioritize things, structure things well, obviously get student feedback. Because like I said, this is for the students, by the students, and having that platform and having those skills in mind, I will ensure to make sure that all needs are heard and all concerns are welcome.
Right, so I think I've mentioned this in my speech as well, but my main goal as a representative is to become the person, the connection between the student and the government student leadership group. So of course, my first goal is to become that approachable individual that you can go to for any worries, any concerns that you have, and creating that safe space for them to be able to talk to you and trust you and know that you will be there for them to advocate for them. And I think that what's also important is to be able to actually follow through with what you're saying that you'll do. So being able to put yourself out there and take those risks and in place of other people who may be too scared to do so, and being that kind of leader to guide people along that path, I think is super important. And that's what I feel is the best way to advocate for students.
So as I said before, I will have some polls throughout the semester that if you have any questions, if you have anything you can go to, if I get elected. But I also think one of the hardest things for first year students is doing the first step, asking the first questions. Most of the students don't go to the office hours, ask questions during their lecture because they're scared. They don't know what to expect. So I would try to listen to you guys on what you guys think is better, but also anonymous questions are always the best way to go. So polls like the chat or even office hours, I would be less scary than the higher years, obviously, because I'm your students like you guys. But still being anonymous, I think, would help all of you to ask your questions without being concerned of anything.
So I'm a hard time.
sees me as having this outgoing personality. I actually do have a lot of social anxiety. When I came here, I really have to work to put myself out there. So I really get the way that people feel when they really feel uncomfortable with me reaching out, to be making friends, to be joining stuff, even if there's icebreakers and other things. Because it's hard. Like if you're an introvert, putting yourself out there takes a lot of energy and effort. So for me, I'm mostly going to be looking towards that. So for me, something that I would want to do is during lunches and dinners, I want to be able to walk around. I want to be able to talk to people one-on-one and talk to you guys. I also want to make sure that we're including our commuter students a little bit more. I think definitely when it comes to the disconnect between the dorms and the commuter students, I think that we definitely need to be able to plan some more events during times when it's easier for both students to be able to do things. So yeah, I think those are the main two things that I want to work on.
Just two more. You guys are good to go. No worries.
I think this is one of the strengths of my approach, actually. In my speech, I basically structured my entire approach around the fact that my first principle is always going to be attaining feedback. So in my previous speech, I specifically said that I would want to increase, I know that on VUSAC there is a feedback mechanism, but I would want to increase the amount of communication VUSAC does to encourage the use of that feedback mechanism. But outside of that, that can also include polls by me, being open to email, but also critically thinking about the conversations I'm having with the other students around me. All of my ideas that I gave in my first speech were purely based on conversations I've had with other people and real things they've said, right? Everyone really liked the dog therapy, so more of that would be helpful. People don't think they're getting as good a connection with their professors as they want. So improving that would be good, right? That is the way I've structured my approach, and I want to represent first years in this position.
Thanks, Mr.
So one thing I would say is first years would be a bit more nervous to, reach out and stuff. So doing it anonymously through Google Forms or Zoom meetings where they don't feel pressured, and offering benefits to them if they speak out and, reach out to give their opinion. For example, having like offering free food or like an extra discount if you put your opinion in. So that really like encourages them to be involved too. So.
I didn't mean to interrupt the wonderful answers you were giving. I just wanted to apologize that I wasn't here and I will probably not be here, but I wanted to say it takes a lot of encouragement and like a lot of like confidence to like run when you're in your first year. And I wanted to like thank all of you for showing that confidence, and we're extremely proud of you. I want to all of you for your election campaign. I already see some posters, they all look like.
Lovely, bro. Great. With that said, we're now opening the floor for any in-person questions. If not, we will move on. There you go.
I have a lot of questions, so I'm going over time. Just please stop me.
Oh, good.
Can I have like the mic so I captured? Thank you. So counselors on VUSAC are generally assigned at least one commission under their portfolio. So I'm wondering what would be your top one or two choices for commissions?
We could start in reverse ordering, so.
Could we just go over what the commissions are, just the three names again?
Yes.
Yes, so there's the community commission, academic, mental wellness, sustainability and equity, strong and goal, arts and culture.
For context, use the community.
I'd like to be part of the Sustainability Commission because I was on it in during my high school years. And I think it's especially looking at our environment and climate change and all the challenges right now, we can definitely take a big step in that. And some ideas I have are like having fun little like planting trees around the city type initiatives where everyone can get involved.
I'd probably be most interested in the Arts and Culture Commission because it's quite broad in general, and I think I would excel the most at addressing more general concerns and areas that can be improved with relation to culture. And so that would be the main one of interest. I suppose also of interest would be the Mental Wellness Commission, but primarily just the more general category of arts and culture.
So for me, the two commissions that I would like to be interested, I actually touched on them very briefly during my speech. One would be arts and culture. I personally love learning about people's cultures. I ask people if they're from some place I've never been to, if they've done something I've never seen before. And especially in today's world, I think building cultural bridges is really important. Of course, just for global policy reasons, but also just because it makes us believe in each other, trust each other more, and overall better experiences together. The other one would be the more conservation related one, and that's because I have an expertise in that as I did serve on an official level on a local and state position advocating for that. So I do know a lot of official policies. Of course, I have to read Ontario's laws and stuff, but I definitely be really interested in further kind of that path for myself and for everyone else.
For me, it would be, first of all, the commuter one, because I am a commuter and I understand the issues that commuter students go through. It's clear, but my other one is academic. So even though I love biology, I don't think Bio 120 is for everyone. Evolutionary biology is not the best field of biology, in my opinion, There's other fields. I have been studying for the Bio Olympiad for like 5 years now, which is basically a competition that you study like bio books that you actually like, physiology if you're interested in anatomy of the heart, for example, if you're interested in cardiology. I have worked in labs and hospitals for the past 2 years now, so I have that academic experience behind it, and it's always interesting to learn new materials because obviously science is always evolving and you can always learn something new.
I think the two commissions that I would be the most interested in are probably the mental wellness and again the arts and culture. Like I mentioned again in my speech, I was also a highly anxious individual, and I know what it feels like to actually go through that down low, your lowest point, and the struggle it is to bring yourself back out of it. And I want to be able to connect with all the students who are and advocate for those students who are going through that because university is such a big change for everybody and it's a lot to be able to go through everything, especially on your own if you're like an international student who's here on your own, and it's hard to like reach out and find places that you feel comfortable in and truly feel like you're able to belong. So mental wellness and arts and culture.
For me, the arts and culture and equity. For arts and culture, I always struggle with answering the question where I'm from. I'm originally from South India. I lived in Dubai, lived in Hong Kong, lived in New Jersey, lived basically many places around the world. So for me, calling home or finding home is really difficult. But through arts and culture, I can meet new people and find that. For equity specifically, I want to build on neurodivergence. I have both ADHD and dyslexia. So finding ways where we can make learning more accessible and also finding other ways to support other students, I think that would be greatly cool. So yeah.
My first choice would definitely be academic. I know we had like lunch with the professors during orientation. As far as I know, that is not something that Victoria College or anybody else does regularly. So I was hoping we could have like different professors of different streams. Specifically for like, I know this would be very helpful for life science students because there's so many amazing professors in our university doing such amazing research who are looking for undergrad researchers so we can connect them. The second one would definitely be Scarlet and Gold. Yeah, it's amazing. I know they have like a Wick Ball, I think it's called at the end of the year. Sorry, excuse me, at the end of the year. And I was hoping we could have something like that for first years because, like, hey, first year is stressful. We deserve our own celebration for it. So, Scarlet and Gold and academic.
all the new faces that walked in. I'm Grayson Graham. My two commissions, I touched on them a little bit in my speech, but equity would be number one. For me, I've worked on that for the past 7 years, and I really try to center equity and diversity and inclusion as well in everything that I do. And then second for me would also be Scarlet and Gold. Love a good official, dance vibe. Love the official work that they do while also bringing the fun to every function. So that's
My first commission would also be Scarlet and Gold because like in my speech I talked about maybe making karaoke at Cat's Eye, inviting like performers. I feel like it's that sense of community at Vic that really gets us to like come together and do things. And my second one would be the sustainability commission, like how Alina said, there's not many people who are really interested in the commission itself and don't know enough about it. And I would love for students to be able to, participate with helping the environment. So yeah.
We should still have enough time for another question, so if anyone has any more questions regarding diversity counselors?
Yeah, I
Give another one, go ahead, words. We're ready. Is there anyone else first? Alright.
Okay.
Also, you don't need to know what commission you need to be a part of right away. Like each commission will give like a little spiel about what they do. So like, you're not bound to these answers. Is what I'm saying. So yeah.
There's a question that I was asked last year.
Hey, Tyler.
Um,
Bear
So, my next question is, so most of you are promising to pursue events or initiatives that require money. Now, I'm not sure if you know, but VUSAC is not the dean's office. We do not have dean's office money. So my question is, what would you do if council decides to not ratify your budget?
Take time to think.
Yeah, okay, take a minute, it's okay.
Can I ask a question? Are these are people allowed to like fundraise or like start like sell things or like a bake sale or something like that? Okay, so my answer would be like I start my own fundraiser because if there was like an issue that I really was passionate about, I think I'll put all my effort to making sure it would happen. So I'll start with a bake sale or like have some kind of like Instagram giveaway. I don't know, but like I'm trying my best to make it happen with my own abilities. So yeah.
That's a really good question, and I think it's really important. We work to make sure that we make promises that we can try to keep as best as we can. My idea of how I would accommodate for if council did not ratify my budget would be to discuss with other counselors what their thoughts are. I would think also if we could do partnerships with other colleges, student councils to see if we could work out sort of like how we did with the tri-college ROM dance, if we could do like another tri-college event, as much as we love Trinity, of course. And so that would sort of be my go-to as well as fundraising and anything we can do.
I think I touched up on this on my speech, but I have not made any promises because I am very skeptical that this is gonna happen because again, it's not like the dean's office of funding is obviously limited and most of it should go to like more important things than just like as much as I love puppies, like puppies in the quad, you can also get those from like a shelter. I think they do those for free. There's definitely like a lot of ways you can like go around the edges and get a lot of free stuff, but the stuff that's not free, which is within our own reach, obviously you can't do much about it. You can try to raise money, but that's a bit unpromising sometimes. So definitely like I'm not made any promises, but going around stuff and seeing what's within my reach once I'm elected, if I am elected.
Obviously, money is definitely a very important issue and thing to consider, but I also believe that you don't need to have the biggest ideas to not need to come from like a wealth of money. It can come from just like volunteering as a community or fundraising, like what Andrea said. That's why I definitely think again, like for example, like big voices working with big students. We're all passionate. We love our college so much. We want to do things for the better of all of us. So when we're all working together for various things or like various events, etc., having good volunteer framework which gets going, maybe involving more first years because I know a lot of first years are really excited to get involved. Again, like what Grayson said, working with also other colleges, or maybe even just if it's just negotiating with the dean or doing something like that. Again, whatever we can do for supporting students, I think we can do it with money or without. So yeah.
Yeah, kind of like the details said. I think every important issue or event or activity or whatever, that's important for the community. And actually like an important issue that I want to pursue can be modified in a way. I'm pretty confident in my flexibility and ability to work within the bounds. So if there are any limits that I will be able to make changes that will still uphold the values that I wanted to bring through this event while still staying within the confines of the budget. And like if that doesn't work out, then perhaps even just reaching out to students and asking them if this is truly something that they would want to see. And if they do, then obviously working towards building like fundraisers again and working on other initiatives to actually make it happen.
Everyone has given great answers, and I think there's like not that much place left for me to say something new. I think as well as having fundraisers, talking to the dean, seeing if actually students want to do it, I would even ask them to bring it, like if they have any, the people who want to run it, if they have any books that they don't need anymore, anything that's old for them, I would try selling them to at lower rates, but to people who actually need it at lower rates, maybe that could help our funding. If it still doesn't work, I would kind of try working without that funding and seeing how that works. If that fails at the end, I have absolutely no clue what I would do. But I think with the the VUSAC members and the help of the dean or the people, the principal is also very nice. Maybe going to MP could help somehow. But bring all the minds together, I would try to think of a way that would make it work.
So first of all, I'm a little hesitant to comment on this because I don't know how the whole budgeting process works, but even then, having worked in an official capacity with budgets before, ideally that should not happen. When it comes to dealing with budgets, I would definitely say, in this case, I would want to establish what my parameters would be beforehand before planning, because working your way back with a budget and trying to find things around after creating a plan is way harder than going in knowing your budget and trying to stay within that. So my first thing would be to definitely get an official estimate of what I would get and kind of go on from there. And even then, you can save money in all sorts of ways. With our town, we save money by cutting the brand of toilet paper. I'm not even joking, we saved like $5,000. So you can do a lot of things if you're really looking for it. You just really have to look into it. You need to keep a really close mind over how much you're spending, what you're budgeting. And then I think overall, that's the best way to stop that from happening.
Ultimately, if the budget isn't approved, that means there's a misalignment between VUSAC and your own propositions. So the step to take after that is to see where that came from. Why specifically is VUSAC rejecting your opposition? Is it too expensive? Is it not feasible? Does it not reflect student needs? So number one, you have to understand why. And then number two, you just have to either modify the proposition or create a new one. And ultimately, it's just a cycle of discourse that's going to have to happen. So, yeah.
I believe that there are ways to work with it, such as we can always do fundraisers and we can work with other companies to see if they're willing to sponsor. And we can work with other clubs to see if we can increase the budget a little bit that way. And there are ways we can work if we can lower the scale of the plan if needed to.
All right. Do you have any extra questions?
More questions, Sally?
Yes, I could.
And are you guys okay to do?
Yes.
Yeah. Doing okay? Okay, that's true.
Are there any more questions from anyone?
Okay, guys. Do you want to sit into the mic so it picks up? I'm too rare to be the first year counselor election, and it is really scary. So you guys are all very brave. Okay, so my question is very chill. Like, if this is the last one, what is one thing you're hoping to get out of this experience as a whole? For me, it definitely my previous experiences that has helped me grow as a person, like to learn how to collaborate better with people, to take more leadership and make fun memories. Those lasting memories and skills that I've learned from it is what keeps me, what motivates me to continue doing it, which is why I'm running for VUSAC because I want to keep growing as a person.
I think number one, it's cool to have the ability to make an impact on the nature of our experience in Victoria College as just a first year. But number two, I think in general, leadership experience is really valuable. And what I would get out of it is an experience working with an official, working in an official capacity that influence real things that are happening, which is, I mean, it's valuable in anything you do in the future. So those two aspects really.
So for me, of course, I want to gain some professional skills, things that will help me future on my life, because working in a workplace is hard. Dealing with people is really hard, but also for me personally, I was raised in a family and community that really values public service. So it was something that I grew up doing. It's something that I really value and something that really brings me personally a lot of joy. I would rather be out here helping other people personally than up in my room watching TV. For me, the honestly kind of sense of joy that it gives me to be able to help others, form connections, and just help people have a good time is really important to me. So yeah, I think that would be a reason for doing this and what I can get.
So obviously you can always learn more, and I think during my time I will learn interesting new stuff that I must have not heard. It might be about a group, it might be about a religion that I had absolutely no clue about. I will find out that. And it's obviously always nice to learn more. And also we're gonna be at the university together for 4 more years with the first years. Some of us might graduate earlier, some of us might want to take our time even more, which is amazing. It's doable. But still, we're gonna be here for at least 4 years. I think the best opportunity for us to get to know each other is to have a little bit more representation. And also, if I get elected, it would be nice to get to know you guys. It would be nice to have go to parties together. It would be nice to have those events that most of us will have. Thank you.
I think for me, it's super inspiring and personally fulfilling to be able to see the impact that I make on students. So you could say that it is for me that I'm running for this position, but apart from all that, being able to make a change for students and seeing them grow into someone that's different because of an impact of an event or an activity that you helped come to like bring to life, I think that's super inspiring and valuable for me to be able to do for other people and seeing everyone grow from that and be inspired and do things that you once never thought that you could do is something that I find really cool and something that I hope to be able to get from this experience as well.
I absolutely love this question so much because apart from building all like, good skills for your like CV, like organization, teamwork, collaboration, leadership, I just want to have fun. Like this is why I'm here in the first place. Like think about clubs, being a part of fresh air, like council. I love meeting new people. I love trying new things. Coming from a place like Dubai, where obviously it was more like conservative in things you can or cannot do. I love having an opportunity here to explore new interests, meet new people, try new things. And we're all first years. Like we have a long way to go. We can figure things out we like, we don't like, and I think that's the beauty of it. So I'm really excited for what's to come.
I want to be able to, once again, I want to be able to say that I helped plan or I planned certain events in my first year. Like, come on, like imagine you're talking to your friend at like Waterloo, or I was telling my friend about the wrong dance, and she was like, "Oh my God, you guys have a wrong dance. That's so cool." I want to be able to have that same experience where I plan events and then people from other universities or like other colleges, like, you had that event, that's so cool. It's like, yeah, I helped plan it. Also, as mentioned before, I love volunteer work. I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, I was just walking around Old Way and there's a book sale happening right now. And I didn't know it was open. I walked in and the lady was like, "Oh, you can't be here if you're not to help." And I was like, "Oh, do you want help?" And I helped them organize the book sale for like 2 hours in between my breaks. I love doing volunteer work. And even if there's nothing I can get out of it, I just love being helpful and resourceful.
I would like to learn more about the student experience and what people are engaged in on campus, how we can help them. But that's number one for me.
I want to learn how to get back up again, be surrounded by people who like encourage me and think me, because like honestly, I might not even get this position. What I want to do might get rejected, but I think it's really important in the workplace and also in school to learn how to like modify what you want and kind of like work with other people to like achieve the goal. So yeah.
All right, so for any sort of time reasons, I'm gonna say that was the last question. Thank you guys. We can get that later. So with that said, actually, you guys should just stay where you're seated, honestly. If you have any sort of general questions from the audience, from yourselves, from myself, now is the time to ask. And if you guys are all good, then that should wrap up the first town hall.